First of all, thank you very much, Datuk Basiron, for giving us this privilege to interview you. Let's get down to it. The first question is, we just want a general sort of outline of the brief history and sort of the trajectory of the Malaysian palm oil industry.
The Malaysian palm oil industry was established maybe 100 years ago, but it has now become a major part of our agriculture sector, consuming about 70% of our agriculture land area, and therefore oil palm area planted now is about 5 million hectares, and also making up about 15% of the land area of the country. So oil palm is also contributing very significantly to the Malaysian economy. Last year, revenue from exports of palm oil products reached 72 billion Malaysian ringgits, slightly down from 82 billion the year before, because of low palm oil prices prevailing last year. But still, palm oil employs almost 1 million people through the various sectors involved in cultivation, production, processing, marketing of palm oil. And Malaysia is currently one of the 2 largest producers and exporters of palm oil to the world.
Given there's such an importance of palm oil to the Malaysian economy, what are some of the challenges that you guys face in this area of palm oil cultivation and production?
Of course, as we find this palm oil industry to be fairly lucrative and profitable for the producers, we are keen to expand that industry. But of course, Malaysia is a small country in terms of land size. We do not have that much agricultural land to be developed for more oil palm cultivation. So a big challenge for us is how to find more areas suitable for agriculture development for us to plant oil palm. And in this respect, we are able to invest in other countries such as Indonesia and Africa, where agriculture land would be available. And we continue to bring along our high standard of agricultural development practices to these countries to ensure that we are able to produce our palm oil sustainably and in accordance with the good international agriculture practices.
Now, this is a very interesting issue when you talk about the challenges being the area. And of course, critics of palm oil production has talked a lot about how the plantation has harmed the environment. And there are many issues in Malaysia and around this region that is involved in this. What is your view on this particular issue, and what are some of the mitigation strategy that you do here in Malaysia?
These issues are mainly created by green NGOs from the West who are not really focused on the concept of deforestation or sustainability. They are just taking an issue with all kinds of agricultural developments, almost as though agricultural development is not to be encouraged by them. This is because the Western countries have deforested extensively, and countries like the UK only has 11% forest left. So it is almost like a hoax that they talk about deforestation and wanting to link it to oil palm. But in real facts, oil palm cultivation, as I said, in Malaysia, is only 5 million hectares. Soybean cultivation is 20 times, bigger, without any of this allegation about deforestation. And at 5 million hectares in Malaysia, it constitutes 15% of our agriculture land, of our land for agriculture. Whereas in the developed countries, they develop up to 30 to 70% of their land for agriculture. Most countries do not have as much forest as we do. We have 56% forest, and we committed to have at least 50% to be conserved perpetually in Malaysia. So all these allegations about deforestation or linking palm oil development to habitat loss are actually trade issues disguised as environmental issues. And of course, these are only voiced out by the green Western NGOs. Local NGOs never ever raise any issues of deforestation. Local NGOs from the developing countries, they want development. They want additional income for their families and poor farmers who benefit a lot from oil palm cultivation. International NGOs want more palm oil to be produced, of course, in a sustainable way, because the world needs this oil for food security, food self-sufficiency. Most countries of the world are importing oils and fats, and Malaysia is the largest exporter of this source of food that the world needs so badly. So the NGOs trying to discourage food production or expansion in the supply of food like palm oil is really committing a serious mistake and judgment, because they are trying to deny the world population from having good access to affordable food supply like palm oil.
Okay, so the importance of palm oil in Malaysian economy. Now, you talk a lot about all this export to different kind of products of palm oil. What are some of the major sort of products that you guys sell? I mean, when we talk about palm oil, there are sort of the food security issues, but also substitute fuel in the future as
yes.
well.
The palm oil industry is very diversified in the types of products that it can produce and even offer to the world markets. First, 80% of palm oil would be used for food applications, cooking oil, shortenings, bakery fats, margarines, confectionery products for producing food items. So this consume about 80% of our palm oil production. 15% or so would be consumed through the oleochemical industry. We need daily basis shampoos, soaps, and detergents, and these are produced from palm oil-based raw material as well. So palm oil is so critical in meeting the needs of the daily needs of the world population, both from food and shampoos and cosmetic products on a daily basis, that it is therefore a very vital source of supply for the world. On top of that, the world is also short of fuel in terms of petroleum. Prices of petroleum are all the time increasing gradually, and in that sense, finding renewable substitutes, renewable fuel would be a priority for the world. And palm oil is such that it is very able to respond to this requirement for sustainable renewable fuel for the world. I can tell you that 1 hectare of palm can produce maybe 5 tons of palm oil and palm kernel oil put together. And in addition, the biomass using our newly developed technology can be converted into bio oil, similar to fuel oil. And 1 hectare of our oil palm biomass will produce an additional 4 to 5 tons of bio oil additionally. So we have between 8 to 10 tons of palm oil, palm kernel oil, and bio oil produced from 1 hectare of oil palm per year, compared to what the West are trying to promote, half a ton of soya oil per hectare per year for their biofuel. So comparing half a ton against almost 10 tons from the palm oil industry, obviously the choice is to invest in oil palm for future adequate supply of renewable fuel, because you are getting 20 times more efficient production of supply of fuel, biofuel, and at the same time would probably save 20 times less land to produce the same amount of biofuel. So we have to sell this idea to the international community so that this attempt by green NGOs to camouflage their real intention to protect their own local industries in Europe and US and not allow palm oil to compete should be stopped, because the real value, if the world is really interested in reducing greenhouse gas emission, is to be solved through the palm oil process, through the palm oil industry, because it can produce 20 times more biofuel, bio oil compared to a hectare of soybean per year.
Okay, so only 2 more questions. That question was really about R&D from the Thai interest side of palm oil industry. But do you care to talk about other kinds of research and development that goes on generally in the Malaysian palm oil industry?
Malaysia has invested a lot of money over the last 30 years to invest in R&D to help improve and allow the palm oil industry to progress and prosper. And in doing so, we have developed many technologies. I can cite one technology that international players involved in the palm oil industry can consider. This is the milling technology, in which I'm personally involved in inventing this technology. And this technology now is so well commercialized and so popular that people are queuing up to buy this mill or new milling technology. This new milling technology is very efficient. It's almost 1/3 of the manpower required to run this mill. And therefore, because it can be offered at competitive price compared to conventional mill, this new milling technology is solely available from Malaysia, because we have only licensed one producer and fabricator of this mill to supply the world as they require milling technology or mills to run the palm oil business. So this is one instance where research has paid off and has put Malaysia in a position not only to supply palm oil to the world markets, but also palm oil technology to make it easier for other producers of palm oil to have access to efficient technology and make their palm oil production more competitive, at least for their own consumption, or even to join in exporting to the world market.
Well, last question, more of a broad regional outlook. As ASEAN soon can become an economic community, what's the outlook for the palm oil industry in Southeast Asia, and from where you're from your point of view?
As you know, Southeast Asia, especially Malaysia and Indonesia and even Thailand together, is producing about 90% of world palm oil production and exporting more than 90% of world palm oil supply. So it looks like ASEAN is the hub of oils and fat supply. And because palm oil is the only oil that is in the position of excess supply, then the world will be focusing on this ASEAN hub, supply hub, for their requirements to get enough oils and fats to meet their local needs. So that role, I think, is going to be expanded because the technology and the capacity to expand this industry they are already developed through the R&D inputs by Malaysia and of course Indonesia. And wherever we invest, whether in Africa or other countries later on, the capacity to develop this industry will continue to be propelled by this important role that Malaysia has played in developing the industry so far and will continue to develop the industry in the future. So ASEAN also has a big population base that will become an important consumer of palm oil itself, because every country would need its own source and supply of cooking oil. So palm oil will allow ASEAN to be well supplied for their own local requirement, as well as ability to supply the rest of the world who has no other sources of supply in a significant way except to turn to Malaysia and possibly Indonesia or even Thailand for their future supply sufficiency.
Okay. On that note, we would like to thank you very much for giving us your interview, and well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.